Hi everyone, welcome to Tim Burbage Reads. My name's Tim and today we're going to talk about Winter Soldier Cold Front by Mackenzi Lee. This is published by Autumn Publishing. It says, 1954, the Winter Soldier is the Soviet Union's greatest weapon. He has only one purpose, to obey orders. But he wasn't always the Winter Soldier. 1941, the world is at war and 16-year-old Bucky Barnes is determined to join the fight. When he is enrolled in the British Special Operations Executive, Bucky leaps at the chance to become a hero. But as soon as he arrives in London, Bucky is thrust into a life-threatening situation involving a secret every side would kill for. A secret that the Winter Soldier will be forced to solve years later. ... So, as you can tell, this is dual narrative. One in 1954, where he is the Winter Soldier. He has a code name in this. He has a handler who uses a fake name, and he's off on a mission that he doesn't quite understand, trying to retrieve an asset. And it starts off with a brutal interrogation, which is great. And then it cuts between that and 1941, where, young Bucky Barnes is living on a US military camp. His parents have died, and he's being looked after by a friend of his dad's, and he starts off when he's running a smuggling operation, which is really good, and then he gets recruited to be basically a British spy, and then it's his mission. So it's his first mission as a British spy, and then his mission as a Russian agent, and they are obviously connected in some way, and you figure that out. That's about as far as I'm going to go into in terms of plot, because this is it's a spy thriller, and I think the plot's really key in a spy thriller, and you don't want to spoil too much, but because it's double agents and turns and twists and all that kind of thing. But one thing, and I really liked the plot. I thought the plot was very good. One thing I really liked was in 1954, the Winter Soldier keeps taking medicine, and they say it's for the pain, but you think that actually to control him and to control his memories, because things starting to leak through. Details, he's like, oh, I've been here before, and they're like, no, you haven't. And he's like, no, you're right, I haven't. Things like that. And I didn't realise how much I liked playing with memory as a trope in fiction. I think probably because whenever you're watching TV and you have a character, like a long-running TV show, and a character has amnesia, you're like, oh, okay, they've run out of ideas. But when you have a whole basis of a character and a story is about someone with not just amnesia, like, oh, I don't know who I am, but struggling and discovering new memories as the plot moves forward, I really like that. So in terms of characters, there's Bucky and the Winter Soldier, and I would say the Winter Soldier is much more, he's not really a character, he's a weapon to be used, and that comes across well, and that's enjoyable to read. Bucky as a 16-year-old, that's I don't know why they changed his age. So that's one thing, is that in most people know Bucky Barnes, the Winter Soldier, from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, where Bucky is actually older than Steve Rogers and kind of looks after him and is Steve Rogers' best friend. As kids growing up, Bucky was always looking after him. I've got you till the end of the line. I think in the original comic, Bucky was like the Robin to Captain America's Batman, but no one really remembers that because that was just from the 40s, and then he died. They killed him off in the comics, and he was dead until the Winter Soldier storyline, which was decades later. He was like one of the most famously this character staying dead in comics. So in this one, Bucky doesn't know Captain America at all. He's never met him. He has he shares some opinions about him, about how he's selling war bonds, because at this point Captain America's just a poster boy. And they've made him 16, and I, to be honest, he didn't read as 16 at all. I don't know why they made him 16. It could be to target younger audiences with this, potentially, but I read him as 18, 19. Still young, like, and still on his first mission. But he doesn't need to be 16. He doesn't talk like he's 16. His world view doesn't seem like that, and maybe just because he's been through a lot at quite a young age. But yeah, I didn't see it as 16. I kind of forgot about it, that he was 16, until you kind of read the blurb and you're like, oh yeah. But there's two female characters, one in 1954 and one in 1941, and they're both brilliant. They're both sarky and, again, kind of playing with memory, and are really enjoyable to read. There's, the usual twists and all that kind of stuff. The prose I thought was great. The prose I really liked. It ripped along at a good pace. I like spy thrillers as a genre. Adult spy thrillers tend to be like, you got your Tom Clancy's and things like that, which I haven't read any of, actually, but they're always really long. Well, this is 400 pages, but it's, big font and all that kind of thing. There is one thing that, just a really small detail that I think was meant to lead to something, but I made completely the wrong connection due to a choice of words. So there's a character that the Winter Soldier meets in 1954, and he has a chipped front tooth. And that's all you know about him. And he knows Bucky, but Bucky doesn't know him, and something happens. That's all I'm going to say. The thing is, the chapter before that, Bucky's in high school, or not in high school. That's part of the problem, is that he dropped out of high school. But young Bucky punches a guy in the face, one of his old classmates, and they talk about how he punches him in the front teeth. And I went, oh, okay, it's that guy. It's not that guy. You realise who that guy is later, who the actual person who he meets in 1954 is. But that was just the previous chapter, so I automatically made that connection. And I think that's just unintentional by word choice. If literally he just had punched him in the chin or the jaw or just the face, or if he could just broken his nose rather than broken his teeth in the 1941, then I wouldn't have made that connection. Unless that was on purpose by the author and it's like, is this a red herring? But yeah, that's my only thing. For me, it's 4 stars. I've got one more Marvel book by Mackenzi Lee, which is about Gamora and Nebula. And I'm looking forward to reading that. I'll definitely I will read that. I liked this one more than the Loki book, but I think I just like The Winter Soldier is one of my favourite films. It's one of my favourite characters. So that's probably why I liked it more, but I just liked it more. Yeah, so 4 stars from me. And if you like this, give this a thumbs up. Please subscribe. I'm so close to 100 subscribers. That's the word. I know how to do this. If I get to 100 by my year on YouTube, I'll be so chuffed. I'll be really, really happy. So it would make me happy just to click that subscribe button for me. Anyway, I'll see you in the next one. And get out of my house!